What is up, Mouse fam? Welcome back to Podcasting the Mouse, episode 1. Today, we are being joined by KingdaKha himself. We're going to go over our usual topics, and we're going to have a great discussion and learn all about KingdaKha. So, before we get started, KingdaKha, go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
Well, what's up, everybody? As you guys do not know by now, my name is KingdaKha, but my real name is Karik. And you guys can find me on Twitter at KingdaKha92, or if you want to follow me on my Instagram, that is KingdaKha_92. Or if you are on YouTube, you can find me at just regular KingdaKha. It is spelled just like it is right there. And yeah, follow me and I will maybe follow back.
Awesome. Yeah. So make sure you guys give him a follow. Karik is one of my best friends in real life and one of my best friends on Disney. So you guys make sure you give him a follow. All right. Our first topic on episode 1 of Podcasting the Mouse, we are going to be going over news. So our first topic each week is going to be a quick news update. There is obviously much better channels out there to give you the Disney news, but we're going to talk about a little bit of it so we can get a good discussion going. First things first, last night, as of the recording of this video, we found out about a retheme coming to Paradise Pier Hotel at Disneyland. We've been hearing about this rumor for a while. Obviously, we heard it might be a Toy Story overlay. Karik and myself have debated, are they going to tear down the entire thing? But it was pretty clear that Disney did not have the budget for that. So we found out that it's going to be themed to Pixar and not just Toy Story. We do have some concept art. It looks pretty great so far, at least in my opinion. Obviously, some people disagree. I think it's just way better than the Toy Story concept art we got. The Toy Story concept art just looked really corny, which I was okay with, but this looks way better in my opinion. And with the news, we also got news that they would be bringing back the entrance from Paradise Pier directly to DCA that drops off right at Paradise Gardens Park, and we would be getting early morning hours back, which probably will be about an hour before entrance, but we will find out later this summer. Karik, what are your thoughts on the news that we found out about Paradise Pier Hotel?
So, as he stated before, back in, I think this was the end of January, beginning of February, me and Sean, we stayed at Paradise Pier Hotel. And while we're staying there, we're just walking through and we're just kind of giving our insight on what they were going to do with the hotel in terms of its future. Because as you all know, Paradise Pier is no more and it is now Pixar Pier. So I was always saying that they weren't going to tear it down and they were just going to retheme it into obviously what it is now, Pixar Pier, so it can stay on brand. And honestly, I love it. I saw the concept art and I think it's retro, not retro. It's modernized and I think it looks really cool. So it plays into something for the kids and something for adults. And I think it's going to work out really well. And it's just something that really needs to be upgraded, because if you stayed at the Paradise Pier Hotel, then you would understand what I mean when I say it needs to be upgraded. The rooms were a little outdated. I used the gym. The gym was even a little outdated. So it was just like certain aspects of the hotel definitely needed a revamp. And this is the perfect way to go. Pixar is such a big staple in the Disney community, especially in the parks. So to have it rethemed after Pixar Pier is just a smart move. And I think it's one of the better moves. And then to bring back the bridge gaping between Pixar Pier and then a hotel, I think that's an even smarter move. And it's such a bonus for the people that are staying there, especially for what you're getting. The price tag also with the hotel, it's the best move. And we've seen something like that in Grand California, where you can just walk right into the park. And it's the best news that's come out, and I'm 100% on board with it. Something new, something fresh. Obviously, things are bound to change, especially within theme parks. Nothing ever really stays the same. And this is just one of the many upgrades that are to come. Then I can't wait for it. I think it looks pretty dope, pretty awesome. And by the way,
yeah, I 100% agree. You did call it. I'll give it to you. Karik said they're going to be refurbing and not tearing it down, and he was right. And yeah, just like you said, we stayed there in January, and we actually got a super cheap rate. I think we got under 300, and that might sound a lot for a hotel that's not that great, but Paradise Pier usually is upwards of 400, usually into the 500. So it's not a cheap hotel, and that's not because of the style of the hotel. It's just because it's supply and demand, and Disney can get that price. So I agree with you. Obviously, they're probably going to raise the price, but I don't see it going much more than $400 or $500 a night. And if you're getting a revamped pool, which we've been seeing, they've been working on the pool for it's a 6 to 8 month refurb, so it's going to be a really nice pool, hopefully. Obviously, the new theme, you're getting the entrance, which in my opinion is just a ginormous perk. Like, I think it goes understated how great a entrance directly from your hotel into the parks is on both coasts. And you're getting the early morning magic hours back. So there's a lot of perks coming with this, and justifiably so. The price for that hotel is not worth it if you don't have all these perks. So I'm with you. I'm really stoked about it. I see why people are upset, but the potential, there's 13 floors, or I think there's 13, there might even be more, 13, 14 hotels at this hotel. There are so many options for Pixar rooms and floors. Theme Park Wizard brought this up. You guys can give him a follow on YouTube as well. They could have each floor themed to a different Pixar movie. And like, bro, come on. I know you're a Brave lover. I'm actually a Brave hater. But if you give me a Brave floor, dude, I'm all about that.
So I was gonna talk about that in terms of like the floorings or like the certain type of rooms that were themed out to certain Pixar movies, which I think personally that is the best idea that they can come up with. And not even in terms of like tiers, like how they do an Art of Animation where the Little Mermaid suite is the cheapest, and then Finding Nemo was like the give me 1 second. Hold on. All right, my bad. So in that, I lost my train of thought. Oh, so I feel like I want them to kind of like integrate the movies into each room, like how they have the Incredible rooms in the contemporary Walt Disney World. But the way that I see it is, I love the floor idea. Like the first floor is Monsters Inc., second floor is Ratatouille, third floor is Brave, fifth floor, so on. But part of me doesn't think that they're gonna do Brave because Brave is she's like, her movie is just so integrated with the Disney princesses that they're not even gonna. They don't. When it comes to the IPs for Pixar, they usually do nothing with that movie because, like I said, they throw her movie into like the regular Disney princesses now that she is an official Disney princess. But anywho, I really want to stay at the Monsters Inc. room. I'm a huge Monsters Inc. fan. I actually might be number 2 on my list, or like my favorite Disney movies. So if they ever do like a Monsters Inc. themed room, I think it'll be pretty dope. And even like if they do like the like a family room type thing, they can make the one of the family rooms like booze door type thing where they make it into booze door. I have so many ideas that I think that they should go with, but however they choose to do it, if they want to do an overall theme of just like all Pixar into one and they kind of make it into the rooms, I don't mind. I just want to see a revamp of the rooms because, like I said, it desperately needed it. And mind you, I love this stay being there, but I'm just like, wow, this needs an upgrade. So whatever it gets at this point, I'm cool with it, and I'll pay whatever it is. Obviously, starting because I would just love to see what it looks like. And
yeah, I'm with you. And we could go for an hour about what, Pixar IPs we'd love to see there. So we can save that for another video because that would go on forever. But yeah, I'm with you. I liked my stay too, but the whole overarching feel, the stay just felt like this hotel is just old. Like, I love the theme and I love the location. I even love the just whole feel of the hotel, but it just, the whole time it just feels like, this just needs life. And so I still think they should tear it down, but I think this is a perfect stopgap, perfect Band-Aid sounds a little harsh, but just a good overlay for now for the next 10 to 15 years where they can figure out what they want to do with Disneyland forward. So I'm with you, and I feel like this is a great counterpart or like buddy to Art of Animation. Art of Animation is a value hotel, but it's not that cheap out in Walt Disney World. Like, it's pretty expensive, and so this is going to be the value of the West Coast. I think even if Disneyland builds a 4th hotel, this is still going to be their value hotel. Obviously, $300-400 is too much for value, but if you can somehow get the price down to like $300, this is going to be a really solid hotel. So I'm with you. And with that news, we also got Downtown Disney news. So there's been a lot of West Coast news. We'll just go over that really quickly. So we found out that the famous Chinese Taiwanese restaurant Din Tai Fung is coming to Downtown Disney. Personally, this is an amazing move for me. It's a family-owned restaurant, and we've needed that in Downtown Disney forever. Disney loves their chains, and they're just big corporate restaurants. So have family-owned is great. We've needed a Chinese or Asian restaurant in Downtown Disney forever. We only have Lucky Fortune Cookery, and it honestly kind of sucks. So it kills a lot of birds there with one stone. And then we also found out that Uva and Catal are becoming a Mexican Hispanic style restaurant. So we'll see more on that. And then we also found out that Ralph Brennan's Jazz Kitchen is going to be getting an overlay. This personally for me is the worst news. For those of you that have seen the concept art, it looks pretty bad. I'm not on board with the Ralph Brennan's. I don't like the look of it. I don't like what they're going for. But I think that's the only bad news really overall. So overall, I'm really happy with Downtown Disney. Kareek, what do you think based on the concept art we saw?
I do agree that it was like underwhelming in terms of design and everything, but for me personally, I don't have much to say on it, only because I'm very new to like Downtown Disney and everything when it comes to that stuff. So I haven't really tried as many of their cuisines and stuff like that because I'm based mainly in Florida. But other than that, I can't wait. It's something new for Downtown Disney. And like I've said before, if you follow me, like Downtown Disney needed something, and it needed a revamp also. And I'm not saying it's terrible, but if you compare it to Disney Springs and Downtown Disney, obviously you're going to choose Disney Springs if you've been there because it's so new and vibrant and big, and it's just amazing. So compare it to Downtown Disney. Downtown Disney is finally getting the revamp that it needs, and I'm not hating on it, but it's just it's bringing new things, and I can't wait to try the new places, and that's really my take on it.
Yeah, I'm with you, and vibrant really is the right word because Disney Springs, like, it just feels alive, man. Like, I love how there's like different, like you walk up a bridge and you're on a different layer, and there's just lakes everywhere and entertainment. Like Downtown Disney, like, yeah, it's small, but that's not even really the main problem. The main problem is just there's not a whole lot of life there, like especially ever since they closed down the theater and ESPN Zone, which I don't even know if you had been there when they were open, but there's just not much life there, man. And it's just one little straight path. So I'm excited for this news. I think it's great. Obviously, we'll have to see what happens, and I don't love the Ralph Brennan move, but we'll see how it goes. With that, we also got news of a Haunted Mansion movie coming next year. Obviously, I know you like the original. I don't like the original, so good move. We'll see. Depends on the movie. And then even probably the biggest news of all, or maybe the second biggest after the hotel, was the halfway to Halloween announcement that we got. So you can take that over as our Florida guy here.
Oh, of course. So as you all may know, or some people don't know, it is officially halfway to Halloween. And what that is basically like, if you've ever heard of Christmas in July, that's basically their halfway to Christmas. So May, April is the halfway to Halloween. And they've been doing that since quarantine and COVID. And it kind of gave people something to look forward to. And ever since then, they've kind of kept that a tradition. And it's now in its third year. And so last halfway to Halloween, we got the Boo to You replacement from Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. And a lot of people were mixed on that. And it was, to me personally, it was just such a letdown compared to the last Halloween parties that obviously Walt Disney has produced. But now officially today, we got the announcement that Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party is officially back. And it is back to basically normal. We're getting our Boo to You parade back. We're getting the new fireworks show that only premiered in 2019, and we never got it back again because obviously with COVID and everything and restrictions like that, we're finally getting that back. So that's more of like a projection show, and a lot of people were like, it's a little iffy towards they rather Hollow Wishes than the new one, but to each their own. It's something new, and it's something that we can look forward to now that it's officially back. Meet and greets are coming back, and we're also getting the ride overlays that we didn't see at Boo to You. That we didn't see at the Boo Bash. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's Monsters Inc. Laugh for the Teacups. What else? Space Mountain and Pirates of the Caribbean with their live act. And honestly, it added something to it. So I was definitely grateful to see that back again. Why Boo Bash didn't really do those, because there's certain like little things to throw in that would have made the party a little better, but they didn't do it. But anyways, Mickey's Not So Scary is officially back. The dates are out now. I can't tell you off the top of my head what the dates are because there are obviously too many, but I know it starts August. Right, it starts August 12th, and the price ranges from $105 to $200, which 200 being the most on Halloween night. So it is a little steep in price in terms of it being originally $75 to $80, then to $200, but it went up $20. And honestly, I'd rather pay that than I think I paid personally $140, $150 for Boo Bash, and it wasn't worth it. So I am super ecstatic to get it back, and obviously Oogie Boogie Bash is coming back to DCA, which I have never done, and I cannot wait to do that also. Anything else that I'm missing? Halfway to Halloween, I think. Oh, and if you guys are going on a cruise, I know they have their Halloween overlay on the cruises, especially the new Wish that's coming out. The Wish cruise, they have their Halloween setup, and Minnie, Daisy, and Clarabelle are now going to be dressed up as the Sanderson sisters from Hocus Pocus. And if you are doing that, then I am super jealous, because that is such a rare, that's going to be such a rare meet and greet, and to only get that on the cruises, I'm jealous, guys. So if you,
hey man, you got to get on a Disney cruise. There's nothing like a Disney cruise.
I need to. But yeah, that's all I have in terms of Halfway to Halloween. If anything else comes back, then I'll let you guys know.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you and I are huge After Hours party fans. So the fact that you didn't like Boo Bash, and you and I like basically every single After Hours party is bad news. And the days of the under $100 parties is kind of over. I mean, the only After Hours party that's under $100 is the water park one. So I don't think the price is too bad. My problem with it is, I'm not a big fan of 3 months out of the year being Halloween. A quarter of the year. I know people love Halloween, and I do too, but a quarter of the year is too much, man. You always see Disney fans complaining by like early October that they're tired of Halloween because they've had it for 2 months. So I'm personally not a fan of that. August in Disney World is like still heat of summer. So I'm not a fan of it, but I am excited for the party. I think it's a great announcement. Super excited for it. And so after you go, you'll have to come back on the podcast and give us a review. And I think that's all the news we got, right? I mean, we got the Downtown Disney news. The other news for Disneylanders is Scarlet Witch is finally going to make an appearance at Avengers Campus, finally in May. My wife is a just absolute massive super fan of Scarlet Witch. I'm a really big fan of WandaVision. It's currently my favorite Disney Plus show. Moon Knight's making a run at it, but one or two right there. And the fact that she hasn't been in Avengers Campus when every other character has, I think it's because there's a huge twist coming in Multiverse of Madness that they didn't want to release yet, but we shall see. Either way, her coming is just massive news. I am super stoked to see her. You got to get out, Karik, to Disney World here on the West Coast so we can go meet Scarlet Witch together.
You mean Disneyland, but dude, it's
yeah, my fault. Disneyland.
Trust me, Disney World isn't doing half of what Disneyland is doing.
No, they're not.
But that's another conversation for another day. But I really do need to get out there before, because if you guys don't know, I'm planning on going out there October, maybe late December. I got late September. We're gonna plan it. I'm going on a trip with Sean. But that's literally the next time I'm going to go. And they said it's going to be a limited time. So along with Scarlet Witch is also going to be America Chavez. She's also going to be meeting in Avengers Campus. So, and they said it's limited time. So I'm just like, I really got to make it out there so I can see all this. Like there's so much going on in Disneyland right now that I really wish I could be there for. The main electrical parade, the World of Color. I still haven't seen the original. What else? The Avengers Campus. Like literally every time something new, Disneyland has it, and I'm just like, I'm jealous. I need to be on the West Coast, so I will be there soon. Hopefully, I can like get a random trip there and just see everything that's transpiring in Disneyland. So can't wait.
Yeah, there's no doubt that Disneyland is just going through a massive change for the better right now. Obviously, a lot of it is just stuff that we had pre-COVID, but the fact that parks are open and we're getting all this stuff, I'm hugely thankful for. So. Make sure you guys all get out to Disneyland. It's just going through an amazing change right now. All right, we're going to transition to our second topic now. First topic is news. Second topic is what you all came here for. Ranking right there, ranking the mouse. So Karik and I are both going to go over a topic this week, and we're going to rank our favorite things about it, and we're going to compare our lists. So the topic this week, and this is in honor of Karik. If you guys don't know, Karik is the self-proclaimed king of character meet and greets. Out of all Disney theme park niches, Karik has character meet and greets under wrap. So with that being said, our ranking this week is going to be, and I'm going to adjust my camera a little bit because I'm in the shade here. There we go. Our ranking this week is going to be our top 5 favorite character meet and greets. Now, this can be after hours events or it can be during the day. And it doesn't have to be objective, just subjectively your favorite meet and greets you've had. I have a feeling your list is going to be a lot more juicy than mine because you are the king of these things. So you can get us started since your list is probably going to get better. So what is your number 5 favorite character meet and greet you've had?
All right, so my number 5 coming is going to be Peter Pan, actually. The reason why I put Peter Pan at number 5 is because I've obviously, like he said, I've done so many meet and greets, and I feel like each one is just very different in itself, and it's such an awesome connection. But with Peter, he really just made you feel like he was you were one of the lost boys, and he was a part of your pack. And I remember it was me and a group of my friends, and he just interacted so well with all of us, and he just made us feel like we were like just a part of the story. And I was like, this is so cool. And mind you, it was my first time being in Magic Kingdom, so we were kind of just like very sporadic with our movements, didn't really know where we were going, what we were doing next. And we saw a line for Peter Pan, and me and my friends, we're pretty big Disney fans, so we were just like, oh, we have to meet him, of course. And the interaction was so dope. I think like the storyline was, I think my friend had jewelry on, and he it was weird. Like my friend had jewelry on, and he asked one of the boys, because he doesn't talk to girls, to like trade or some stuff like that, and it was just really dope. And I just love the experience. So that Peter Pan is coming to number 5.
Awesome. That's a solid number 5. It's not on my list. So guys, make sure you go meet Peter Pan. Number 5 on my list is, I'm trying not to be too West Coast centric on here, but the character meet and greets at Disney World the last couple of years have just been weak. So most of my entries are West Coast because they've been killing characters lately. But number 5 for me is Minnie's house at Disneyland. It's not open right now, unfortunately, which really sucks. But you can go through Minnie's house and meet her. It's just super cute, man. Like, something classic about meeting Minnie. It's just great, and her house is a really fantastic little attraction there. So that comes in at number 5 for me.
And coming in at number 4 for me is going to be Merida from Brave, another Magic Kingdom one.
Of course,
like my favorite. But she was just so energetic, so high. Like same thing, like with the story, like they're so well done, and I just love how immersed they make you feel. And she's one of my favorite characters, so of course I had to put her up there. But like she just made me feel like we were friends for a while. So Merida is number 4 on my list.
I love it. Yeah, you're a Brave super fan, so I feel you there.
I am.
Number 4 for me, a common theme of mine is not just the character meet and greets, but the overall experience. So number 4 for me is Enchanted Tales with Belle. I actually haven't even gotten to do this yet because it's been closed for so long. But I just love the whole idea of this concept. I love the whole idea of like an attraction meets a meet and greet. So I'm all about that. And I've never done it, but from what I've seen, like Belle is just fantastic. So number 4 for me is meeting Belle at Enchanted Tales with Belle.
All right. So number 3 for me is going to be Goofy at Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. So this is Goofy dressed up as Pirate Goofy, and he's in the back of Brainstormer. And I remember it was just me. My friend was tired; she went to go sit down.
Barnstormer?
Huh?
Barnstormer? Brainstormer.
I always keep saying that, but you can tell.
The Brainstormer. That sounds like a Six Flags ride.
Fake But no, it was just me, and it was so weird because the whole interaction was just so awesome, and like I just really can't explain it. There's certain things that you just have to be there for, and it was just so dope. And kudos to Goofy. That was so dope.
Goofy's killer, man. I don't want to try. I'm trying to not include like character meet and greets where they have everybody, but anytime you meet multiple characters and Goofy's there, he's always like steals the show. So like if you're at like a character dining, like Goofy's like the go-to right there.
Yeah, you're right.
All right. Number 3 for me, I got to stay West Coast here. This has not been open also since pre-COVID, so hopefully open soon. But the Anna and Elsa Frozen meet and greet at the Animation Academy in DCA. I'm obsessed with Animation Academy, one of my favorite spots in all of DCA. And this is a great meet and greet. Like I'm super awkward when it comes to meeting princesses. I'm a middle-aged white male. Like I'm not. I know they don't want to talk to me. They're trying to talk to kids and stuff. But they just kill it every time. And there's always like a little Olaf character too. So like I just love this meet and greet. I hope it comes back soon. Anna and Elsa literally knock it out of the park. I love doing it every time. So that's number 3 for me.
All right, so we're going on to what is it? 2 now? We're doing 2.
Top 2, baby.
All right, so top 2. I'm actually gonna go with the Seven Dwarfs from Mickey's Not So
Ooh.
Scary Halloween Party. I waited 6 hours for that one, and I was
Ooh.
number 2 in line. But honestly, that whole night I planned it out so well that everything worked out in my favor that night. It was such a dope night, and just to see them because I know that um, they're well now in Magic Kingdom they're rare. Even around just Disney World in general, just to see all of them together is very rare, very rare. So I was just kind of like, wow, like this is so dope. Like they were the number ones from the jump. You know what I mean? Like in the whole Disney. So I had to meet them, and it was so cool just interacting with each and every one of them. They tried to interact with me. Obviously, you know the way that meet and greets run. They're super popular, so you kind of try to rush it a little bit, but it was a great interaction nonetheless. So they're definitely number 2.
Awesome. I love it. Yeah, bro. I hopefully they're coming back now with Main Street Electrical Parade. All right, my number 2. I'm gonna cheat a little bit here because when you said Mickey's Not So Scary, you threw a new idea in my head. So my number 2, I'm putting it as T5 because my number 2 is Mickey at Mickey's house in Disneyland, but we're gonna put that with Minnie and Mickey, both at their houses. So my new number 2, thanks to you, is gonna be Sid at Oogie Boogie Bash at DCA. When I saw this, I was like, this is so corny. It was the greatest thing in the world. We met Sid, my wife and I, and then we like went out of line and just watched him just roast people for like half an hour. The kid was just the best actor in the world and just roasting these people. Like every single person that walked by, he just roast them. And it was absolutely hilarious to watch. Honestly, probably should be number 1 on my list. It was one of my favorite moments in like the history of Disney theme parks. But it's a reason to go to Oogie Boogie Bash on its own. Outside of Zombie Cap, outside of the Internals, like all these other great characters, Sid was a standout for me. So that's my number 2.
I got to see that because I wasn't expecting that at all. Anyway,
yeah, you got to come out to Oogie Boogie Bash to see it.
Oh, of course I am. Come on, not a question. My number 1. Number 1 is from Mickey and Minnie's. No, not even Mickey and Minnie's. Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. It is Jack and Sally. I'm telling you, that's one of the main reasons why I love Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween, because you bring out all the characters that you rarely get to meet. But anywho, Jack and Sally, it was so surreal because I think the first time I met them, I was just kind of like starstruck in a sense because I'm like, wow, like it was like they literally pulled them out of the movie and it was like, yo, they're right here. And the way that they spoke, and I was just like, oh, I was so like, I never get tongue-tied when I meet the characters because I'm always ready and I'm always prepared because I never want the meet and greet to be awkward. But when it came to them, it was just like, whoa, this was so cool. Like I felt like a kid watching the movie and watching the movies come to life, and that's what I love about Disney World. But yeah, they are my number 1, and I cannot wait to see them again this year. The main reason why I'm really going. So, yep.
Dude, you are one of my best friends in the world, and I thought for sure I had your number 1. Like I was like, I know exactly what his number 1 is, and you didn't even put it in your top 5.
I know you were thinking Hercules. I know.
Hercules, that's Sweetheart's Night. That's not in your top 5.
Might be number 6.
Honorable mention. All right, honorable mention.
I
know for sure it's gonna be his number 1, but wow, you threw me for a loop there.
Mm-hmm.
You went East Coast heavy on this, and I went West Coast heavy. So that's good. We'll get a little diversity.
I feel like the whole standing behind a wall type of situation, that's what I mainly got from Disneyland, because that's the era that I went in. So not saying that it wasn't memorable or special, but I would have rather had been interacting right next to them and doing something rather than holding a camera and speaking from so far away. So that's what kind of hindered my experience, but it was still dope nonetheless. That's why.
Well, the camera is your fault. The holding the camera is on you. I'm not going to give you a pass for that. That was your choice.
But shut up. But
I feel you.
I would never do that if it wasn't like I have to literally rethink how I'm gonna do my meet and greets now, because I don't do that. I don't hold camera right in front of their faces. Like that's awkward. So I gotta figure out a way.
For sure. No, the social distancing was good for your YouTube channel. You got to film them, but
really
no, I feel you. And for the listeners that don't know, Karik did not come to Disneyland until post-COVID, and I did not go to Disney World until post-COVID. And now both of us have been, multiple times. But it's kind of funny. So we have different, viewpoints of the interactions there. So my number 1 actually was with you, Karik, and it was at Sweetheart's Night that we were just referencing, and it is the Frozen characters. I know I put Anna and Elsa already on this list, But we met I'm not even remember their names, but the Yoo-hoo guy from Frozen, and we met who else did we meet? We met like 4 of them.
We met Oaken. We met the
Oaken,
Chancellor of
Duke of Wesselton.
Duke of Weaselton. We met Hans.
Yeah, Hans, and then I think Anna.
Olaf.
Yeah, and it was just an absolute insane meet and greet. Like obviously it was socially distanced, like Karik said, because it was during Sweethearts Night of 2022. But it was just incredible, man. Like seeing Oaken go yoo-hoo in person, and like the Duke of Wesselton like flick his hair down, bro. Like was just one of the coolest things I've ever seen in real life. Like I can't believe Disney did it. It was a super rare like meet and greet credit, and like that's always fun. So just hands down one of my favorite moments in a theme park ever. So that's my number 1. All right, wow. Thank you for your ranking, Karik. You guys can let us know down in the comments how much you disagree with Karik's rankings and how much you agree with mine. Let us know in your comments your guys' top 5 too, because there's so many great meet and greets, especially the rare ones. You guys can let us know. And in a couple months, Karik and I are hitting up 4 after-hours parties in a row at Walt Disney World. So we'll get some more rare meet and greets, and we'll give you guys a new ranking for that. Sure. With that being said, on to topic 3 today of Podcasting the Mouse. And our topic number 3 is a segment that I've dubbed Good, Bad, and Great. Most people do good, bad, and ugly, but I like to lean on the positive side. So we're going to pick a topic each week, and we're going to give our good of that topic, our bad of that topic, and the great of that topic. And this doesn't have to be anything new. It can just be a general feel of like what we think is underrated or what we think needs to be talked about. It can be 50 years old or it can be brand new. It doesn't really matter. So the topic for this week is something Karik and I have in common. Our second favorite park in the United States and both of our favorite Walt Disney World parks, Animal Kingdom. So good, bad, and great for Animal Kingdom. Karik, if you want to get us started with your good at Animal Kingdom.
Yes. Okay. So my good is, and I feel like it doesn't get enough recognition personally for me, is Dinosaur. I love that ride, and it's so underrated because
Karik's first and only episode on Podcasting the Mouse.
You're such a I love you so much. But yeah, I feel like Dinosaur gets so underlooked, and like it's just such a dope ride. Like if you really look at it, I know that it has its faults. I know that it could be upgraded and updated. And it's just, I think it's just so cool. And mind you, that was my first ride to. I know it kind of has like the same track system as Indiana Jones, and Indiana Jones is just way bigger in comparison to Dinosaur. But there's something about Dinosaur that I really loved, and I think when I first went on it, it was just like I didn't know what the hell to expect. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. I was just like, yo, what's going on? I got scared. I'm not gonna lie, because I don't really like roller coasters like that, so I get nervous. But anywho, Dinosaur is the good. I think it's the good. The bad, I think we can all.
You want it? Well, we could just do, if you want, we'll just each do our good and then bad and then great.
Go ahead.
Okay. And honestly, bro, you make a good argument. I'm just half joking. Dinosaur fits the park well. If it was in any other theme park, I would think it'd be a pretty like terrible attraction. But the corniness of it fits pretty well in that aspect of Animal Kingdom, and it is a great dark ride for that park. So I'll give it to you there. I'll give you a little slack there. You made good reasoning.
Thanks.
But my good is Kilimanjaro Safaris. I think this might be, and I think I've actually stated this in the past, that this is the most underrated Disney attraction in the world. Kilimanjaro Safaris, in my opinion, is just insane. Like the only thing it's lacking is a like fun storyline like it had when it opened, or at least any storyline. But dude, the fact that you get to see all these animals up close, you're literally four-wheeling it through rivers, through all this, through Disney theming. Kilimanjaro Safaris, in my opinion, could anchor any single park in the world. The fact that it's not even the anchor attraction at its own park is insane to me. I think Kilimanjaro Safaris is worth entrance on its own at Animal Kingdom. It just doesn't get talked about enough. I don't know if locals just get tired of it or they don't want to wait or what, but just a great ride. It's different during the day. It's different at night. Just a fantastic ride, in my opinion.
I agree. I 100% agree with that. Now we're
going to bad. Let's be negative. Bad. Let's get the views by being negative.
I think the bad when it comes to Animal Kingdom is that it's just not. It doesn't have that many rides. I would like more rides to be thrown into the park. And honestly, I can see why some people would be like, "Oh, this is a half-day park," because honestly, you could get most of everything. Like if you're just focusing on rides, you can get that done within say you're open from 8, you can get that done by 12. like realistically you can get it all done by 12, and I think 2 of them are shows. So it's like if you're looking for the thrill, then the only 2 are Flight of Passage and Everest. So it's like I feel like that's where Animal Kingdom lacks so badly is the rides, and they can definitely benefit. Like they have enough IPs to make rides for certain movies, or even to come up with their own ideas. The Imagineers come up with their own ideas, but it's like they haven't been utilized enough into the park, and that's why I was actually watching a documentary about this, where it's kind of like that's why they started to decline in numbers when they first opened in 1998, or 1999, one of those, because there wasn't enough to do. And that's why they built Everest, and obviously it became a bigger attraction. But come on, Animal Kingdom, I feel like you can definitely do so much more. It's just annoying a little bit. Just to think about it, it's just like, come on, do more with that park. It deserves more.
Yeah. I'm not quite as negative as you are in that regard. I think as is, it has enough to do. But I will agree with you that if like it's at the point where if one ride goes down, like if Everest is down, or if Kilimanjaro's down, or if Flight of Passage is down, then the park like doesn't have enough. Like if the line is here for enough, I think Animal Kingdom is right here. Like it barely hits the line to where if anything is down or like out of order or whatever, then it comes down here. So I'm with you. I think it's 1 or 2 expansions away from being perfect, but it's not quite there, especially if people are just there for the rides, like if they're not there for the ambiance, then I would agree it doesn't quite have enough. All right. My bad is kind of along the lines of yours. I don't think Animal Kingdom caters to the full crowd enough. And I mostly mean kids, but I also mean like the elderly as well. I think that it caters more towards like adults that appreciate theming. I don't think it caters great to the kids. Dino Land is just a crapshoot right now and only has 2 rides open, and Dinosaur has a height restriction. And then the only other really true kids ride without a height restriction besides Navi is It's Tough to Be a Bug. And that's just not enough for kids, man. And kids don't appreciate theming in the way like you and I would, or any really, Disney superfan would. And so I think they need to up the kids' atmosphere for it, whether that be just a whole new land in Dino Land, or whether that be more kids rides throughout. I think that would really help the land, and I think they don't really cater to that too much right now, unfortunately. But all it would take is a couple expansions for that to fix that problem. So hopefully, and fix your problem as well. So hopefully we see that soon.
Exactly, and to piggyback off that, I feel like with Animal Kingdom, there's so much that they could do in terms of adding more lands, or if you want to go deeper into South America, you could obviously with the countries, open up, like expand more. Like there's so much green open space, and I know that they want to keep that for the whole immersion of feeling like you're in, when I feel like you're in a different world basically. But that, like, if you can build Pandora, you can build more. And maybe even if you want to expand on Pandora, I'd be cool with that also. Like, but it just needs more. So I completely agree.
Yeah, and Animal Kingdom has the most room for growth in terms of like practical, like you said, with like IPs in different countries and stuff, but practically they have the most room to grow too. They have the most expansion pad spots out of any Disney park. There's an expansion pad behind Pandora. There's an expansion pad obviously behind Everest, where like between Everest and Cali River Rapids, there's an expansion pad there. There's obviously the whole Rafiki's Planet Watch that they could build on. And then obviously Dino Land in itself is an expansion pad that they can, build out to. So it has so much room to grow. Obviously, you kind of have to be careful with the animals and the whole theme, but there's so much where they can go. And I'm hoping they do go soon.
Sure. So next is the good, bad, and the great. Great. All right. So
great.
The great with Animal Kingdom is just, honestly, it's the overall ambiance of Animal Kingdom. Like, just that park is honestly one of the most beautiful theme parks that I've ever been to. Just to you're just immersed into this I can't explain it. It's just so beautiful. Like, that's the thing that I feel like they they've done so well. Has done so well is that they've taken you basically to South America, to Africa, to Asia, and the details within the rides, the queues, the even the surroundings around Africa, around Asia. Like if you really look, there's a detail everywhere, and it is so beautiful. And I think that's one thing that Disney nailed. Like if they did their research 100% and then they added it into this park, and that's why it kind of goes back into it, where I know that they can do more with this, and because I see the potential that this has, but I understand why people put this so low on their list. But other than that, the ambiance of the whole park is freaking amazing. And Pandora, my God, like even though Pandora has nothing to do with Africa or Asia, and it's not a real place, like bro, they made that a real place. Like these Imagineers are ridiculous.
They made it so real.
It's ridiculous how, like, oh my God, it's just so beautiful. Like just thinking about it. And at night, don't get me started at night, but it's just, that's the great. The whole great is it's Animal Kingdom in itself. Such a great.
So meta, bro. No, I feel it. The ambiance and the theming is just absolutely incredible. So I'm 100% with you there. They need to freaking open up later. No, I love Animal Kingdom night. They've been closing early, so cross my fingers that changes once they get more staff.
I feel like
but yeah, my great. What's that?
They do that because of the animals, right? They close early for like the animals. Or
I don't think so. No, because I think it's just a staff thing. Because if you watch the Animal Kingdom thing on Disney Plus, they talk about how they like to be open late at night, and they like build new like trees that have lights in them for the late night safaris. But I think it's just a staff thing, to be honest. But who knows? Maybe it's something to do with the animals too. But my great is Discovery Island, the main street of Animal Kingdom. I 100% think this land is super underrated. I think people walk in, breeze through it to get to the next land, and I don't think they appreciate how freaking fantastic this whole area is. There's so many trails to explore. There's so many little spots to stop and watch. Yes. I love foliage and like water features, and there's so much of that. And once you get to the Tree of Life, there's so many different like trails you can take. Obviously, it gets a little tough with it's tough to be a bug queue, but there's so many different like spots to just sit and watch and just take it in. Like you could literally spend 2-3 hours there and just chill and see something new every time. Literally. So Discovery Island, super underrated. I think more people need to just hang out there and take it all in. That is my great at Animal Kingdom. All right, you guys can let us know yours. Good, bad, and the great. If you want to throw in ugly there, you can too. I don't really have an ugly for Animal Kingdom. It's a fantastic park. You guys can let us know down in the comments what your thoughts are on that. And that brings us in to our topic number 4 today. We are going to be doing a feature on our guest today, KingdaKha. So, Karik, what I want to know first, you already let us know, everyone, where we can find you. But what I want to know is what got you started with Disney. Obviously, we know you were a Disney movie fan, the Disney brand fan first before the parks. But I want to know more about your passion for the parks. When did you first go? What led to your initial passion for the parks? And where do you hope to be in the future in terms of your passion for Disney? Like maybe it's your YouTube channel, maybe it's your, what you have planned, whatever you want to share in terms of your passion for the parks.
Yeah, of course. So it's funny. I grew up, obviously, like you said, I've loved Disney forever. And I went to Disney World once when I was about 4 years old, and that's the only recollection that I have. And it was like bits and pieces. I think I remember like Snow White's Scary Adventure. That was like the last ride I did. I did Dumbo, but other than that, it was always a longing for me to go to Disney World, but I never made it because obviously things happen, life happens, parents didn't have money, yada, yada, whatever. But now that I was older, the first time I've ever went to Disney World was 2018 with my best friends, and we all went together, and it was actually all of our first time going. And literally just being in Magic Kingdom, when I tell you, everybody was like, you've just seemed like you were so at home. Like that was the happiest I think I've ever been. And that's where I got my love and my start for the Disney parks, because I always knew that I was going to love it, but I never knew I was going to have that much fun there. Like I took everything in, and it was just like, this was home away from home. Like, automatically. Mind you, I didn't know where I was going, what I wanted to eat, what I wanted to do. I've never ridden one brand new ride, but everything was just so new to me, but it also felt familiar in a weird way. And it was life changing. So now like we said earlier, I went to Disneyland for the first time, and that park, that one, that took my heart. Like I feel like that one just cemented me into the Disney parks. And what I mean by cemented is like that one just made me a real fan of the parks. Like I said, I'm a Disney animation fan first, but then I'm a Disney parks fan. But that being in Disneyland made me really like fall in love with the parks even more, and just knowing the history of the parks from Walt Disney and his imagination, and just seeing it come to life. Like you're basically walking in a part of history, and that's what I always have to keep in my head, that this came from one guy, one man, and that's like he had a dream. And it's just crazy just to see like all this he just came to life, like when you work hard, and that's so inspiring for me. And so basically where I want to go in life, like I have my YouTube channel, and I mean, if it doesn't take off, it doesn't take off. I actually don't mind, but I'm doing that, and I kind of keep that as like a diary, a video diary that you all can see. But I know in my head, I'm like, if this doesn't take off, this is for me. All of this is for me. And if I can work for the parks, that's what I plan on doing in the future. And even so, I'd like to gradually go up from there and see where life takes me within the Disney community, because this is home. Like even being on Twitter and meeting all my Twitter friends, like this is such a community that I feel comfortable in, and I'm glad that I have this community. And I know it's weird because a lot of people judge me for being a black guy that's into Disney, and a lot of people around here would be like, oh, he's obsessed with it. Okay, well, if it is an obsession, it's an obsession that's not hurting anybody, and at the end of the day, I'm having fun. Like I don't really care what you guys are doing. I'm having my type of fun, and I'm doing it with the people that I love, and it's just fun. Like, dude, this community is the best. And if you are a part of it, then that's why I say follow me. Follow me on my Twitter. I interact with me. Let's be friends. Let's hang out. If I'm ever in the park and I tweet that I'm in the park, and you say, hey, let's meet up, like, let's meet up, because this is what I do. I want to build a community from here on out. I want to build friendships and people that I can see myself getting old with, and we can bond over the same thing. So that's kind of where my head is with the whole Disney.
Man, I'm inspired, bro. If you didn't leave everyone watching this inspired, they didn't listen to what you just said. No, but I love how you touched on the community aspect too, because I think that's something that's so underrated in the community. Like, yeah, maybe a lot of like YouTubers don't have it because they're only focused on themselves, but like the community aspect of Disney, especially from like the Twitter and like I'm not on TikTok, but like the TikTok and the Instagram side, like it's just like one big group hangout. And like that's what I love so much about the parks. Like you could be hanging out with people, and then all of a sudden, like someone that you interact with on Twitter or whatever, someone you watch on YouTube just walks by and you start talking to them. Like I just love that. So I'm glad you touched on that. Thank you so much for sharing us your story. That brings us into topic number 5, our last topic of each week. Karik, you got to give the people what they want. We need your top 3 rides in the United States. So all coasts, top 3 rides. And then we need your most anticipated ride that you haven't ridden yet, just one. So that could be a ride from another park you haven't been to, or it could be a ride that hasn't, been built yet, like Disney is still building, or even you can go Universal if you want, or it can be an international. So top 3 current rides, and then one ride that you haven't ridden yet and you want to the most.
Okay, I'm gonna give top 3 in no particular order because I cannot. At this point, I'm just throwing it out there. Snow White's Enchanted Wish. I love that ride. I can literally sit there. Actually, no, that's number 3. We're gonna go in order. That's my number 3 ride. Love that ride. Number 2.
Top 3. Wow.
Yeah, that's my number 3. Number 2.
Enchanted Wish.
Number 2. I'm gonna go with.
Here, you want me to talk about your pick while you think?
No, I got it. It's all good.
Okay.
But I'm actually now I'm curious. Yes, let's talk about number 3. Go ahead.
Okay. I love Enchanted Wish too. I can't believe you have a classic dark ride, a 2-minute long dark ride in your top 3. I'm not hating. I love that ride. I just respect the cojones you have for putting a dark ride in your top 3. Out of every e-ticket in the world, you put a Walt original, and that shows how much you care about the true magic of Walt Disney's park. So I couldn't put a dark ride like that in my top 3, but I respect that decision.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's just, I don't know, it's just something about the ride, man. I rode it 3 times when you guys weren't even there. I just sat, I don't know, I just love it. Freaking love it. It just, anywho, talk about that later. Number 2, I'm going to give it to Flight of Passage. I love Flight of Passage. Like, that ride is just so freaking amazing. Like, even when I went on it the 2nd time, 3rd time, sometimes my mouth still drops and I'm just like, wow. Like, the smells, the way that the ride works, even though it's like the most simplistic, you would think it's like the most simplistic ride ever, but the technology that goes into it, I think it's just so dope, and I love it. So that's my number 2.
I love that pick. It's also in my top 3. I think if an e-ticket that's one of the most popular Disney rides ever built can be underrated, I think this is that, because I feel like so many locals are like, I just don't fully buy it. Or like, it's a cool ride, but it's just Soarin' 2.0. And I fully disagree. I think they nailed every part about this. The only con I have for it is that because it is a simulator ride, you don't really get like practical like effects, and that's what I love about Disney. But you still get those 4D effects like the wind and the spray effects. So I'm okay with losing that for how incredible this ride is. So I'm with you. Great pick.
I agree. All right, cool.
Number 1.
Man, number one. Is it possible if I can literally split this 2? Because I can't choose. Like, I really can't choose. Is it possible?
Bro, you got to put the 4th on honorable mention. You only get top 3.
Okay, honorable mention. I'm going to give it to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. That's my honorable mention. I absolutely love that ride. I know people complain because it took over the Great Movie ride, but for me, I'm a huge Mickey Mouse fan. So it literally feels like you're immersed into their this comic world, and it's just so dope. And I know everything that screens, even though they have some of their animatronics, they're still screen animatronic, but it's just so dope. I love what they did with that. People are gonna be like, oh no, I hate it. No, I love it. But number 1 is Radiator Springs Racers. I absolutely love that ride. And when I tell you, I'm not even a Cars fan. I'm not even a Cars fan like that. Like, I love number 1, but it's another story. That ride is amazing. Like, of course you're a Cars fan, for sure. But yeah, that's my number 1 pick. And you would have, I'm not going to sit here and explain it to you why it's my number 1, but you have to ride it for yourself, and then you'll understand why it's a great ride.
What a solid pick, man. You got 3 just completely different, or 4 if you're including Mickey's, like completely different rides. Mickey and Minnie's, a new school, like e-ticket, huge dark ride. Snow White, an old school classic, like small dark ride. Then you have Radiator Springs Racers, which is like the new generation, like e-ticket thrill / family ride. And then you got Flight of Passage, a simulator, like e-ticket. Like, you got everything covered, bro. I love it.
Literally.
All right.
Those are my
love it.
Oh,
favorite ride that you've not ridden yet. Either it's coming or it's at another park you've never visited.
Easy. Cosmic Rewind. Come on. Guardians of the Galaxy. I have to. Oh, my gosh. When I tell you, I am anticipating that ride so bad. I'm just, it keeps seeing people go on it on Twitter, and I'm like, damn it. I need to ride that ride. So I cannot wait. And I'm hearing so many good things about it. Like, not one mouth has said anything bad about it. So it's my number 1 on my upcoming list.
Would you like to tell the Ranking the Mouse audience how you have been presented with the opportunity to ride Cosmic Rewind on a DVC preview on May 9th before the public, and you have not said yes yet?
I knew you were going to do that. He is lying, and I'm so sorry to all you guys out there, but he's sitting there.
I'm not lying. You do have the opportunity. You haven't said yes yet.
He's right. He is absolutely right. But I'm itching to go so bad. I'm just being a responsible adult, and I'm just trying to do things the right way before I say yes to anything. I would love to drop everything and just be like, F it and let's go, but I cannot.
All
I have
right.
to wait.
Good advice for all my viewers out there. Be responsible like Karik. All right. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for listening to the first episode of Podcasting the Mouse. As Karik has said, you can go ahead and follow him on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all that good stuff at KingdaKha or KingdaKha_92 on Twitter. Make sure you guys give him a follow over there. He's doing great stuff. And also, you guys want to keep an eye out, you can subscribe to my channel below. My next video after this one is going to be ranking every single parade in Main Street Electrical Parade, and I will be doing a giveaway of one of these fantastic Elliots here. These are one of the best popcorn buckets around. So I'll be doing a free giveaway for viewers of that video, so make sure you guys check it out. That'll be coming soon. Like I said, make sure you subscribe to KingdaKha on Twitter and YouTube. KingdaKha, you have anything else to say?
That is all. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and if you guys like it, please follow, subscribe. He has so much new stuff coming out that it's going to be freaking amazing, and just to hear him talk is one of my favorite things to do. Just to hear this guy rank things. So much
Don't
fun.
put those expectations on me. I upload once a month.
Well, if you guys are into this type of stuff, give him a follow. Give me a follow if you thought I was interesting. Thanks.
All right. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.